The following video covers serious allegations made against John Romaniello, including accusations of abuse and misconduct. These are based on claims made by individuals who have come forward publicly. All parties involved are entitled to due process, and the information presented is for informational purposes only. We encourage viewers to approach these sensitive topics with respect for all individuals involved. John Romaniello was hailed as a trailblazer in the fitness industry. But behind the polished image, allegations have emerged that are as shocking as they are serious. Claims of abuse, manipulation, and exploitation that threaten to dismantle his carefully constructed legacy. How did a man so revered end up at the center of such accusations? To understand the gravity of these allegations, we need to look back at Romaniello's rise to fame, where his influence, charm, and expertise earned him a devoted following, and ultimately, the power he's now accused of abusing. Romaniello's career began like many others in the fitness world, a driven trainer helping clients achieve their goals. But he had something others didn't, the ability to market himself as not just a coach, but as a visionary. He didn't just sell fitness programs, he sold a lifestyle, a promise that physical transformation could unlock your full potential. His breakthrough came with the book Engineering the Alpha, a bestseller that blended science, self-improvement, and charisma. Romaniello wasn't just telling people how to work out. He was convincing them they could become better versions of themselves, mentally, physically, and emotionally. It wasn't just fitness, it was transformation, and audiences ate it up. With the rise of social media, Romaniello's influence only grew. He used platforms like Instagram and Facebook to connect with his audience, sharing personal stories, struggles, and triumphs that made him relatable. He was more than a fitness coach. He was someone people trusted with their vulnerabilities. Romaniello's ability to market himself as not just a fitness expert, but a lifestyle guru, made him an even bigger figure in the industry. He was frequently seen giving motivational talks and inspiring his followers to pursue their best selves. His social media posts weren't just about workouts. They were about building a new mindset, achieving personal success, and overcoming obstacles. This blend of motivation, fitness expertise, and personal connection solidified his status as a role model. By the mid-2010s, Romaniello wasn't just a fitness coach. He had transformed into a brand. He created online courses and mentorship programs, offering guidance to aspiring influencers and coaches in the fitness space. His reach extended far beyond his personal clients, and he became a figure many in the fitness world sought advice from. He was the guy who could help you build a following, start a business, and transform your life, both inside and out. He didn't just teach people how to build muscle. He taught them how to build an empire around their passion. Romaniello's business savvy and ability to position himself as a mentor to future fitness stars made him even more powerful, even more influential. He was someone whose word carried weight in the fitness world. But it's this very influence that, according to those now coming forward, may have played a role in the allegations against him. Romaniello didn't just have followers. He had people who looked up to him as a mentor, one whose approval could open doors and change lives. It's a position of trust, one that's easy to exploit if the person in power doesn't act responsibly. The allegations against Romaniello are serious. Some individuals have claimed that he abused this power to manipulate and coerce, using his position as a mentor to take advantage of those who trusted him. For many, this isn't just the fall of a fitness guru. It's the unraveling of the trust placed in someone who had the power to shape lives, but allegedly chose to abuse that power. As John Romaniello's career skyrocketed, so did his power and influence within the fitness world. But with that power came troubling allegations that have since rocked the very community that once revered him. Behind the polished persona and the inspiring messages, a darker side is now emerging, accusations of abuse, manipulation, and misconduct that go far beyond a simple breach of trust. It all started when posts began to surface on platforms like Reddit, where users anonymously shared stories of troubling encounters with Romaniello. At first, these claims were dismissed by some as nothing more than hearsay or exaggeration. But as more individuals came forward, it became clear that there were common threads tying these stories together, patterns of manipulation and exploitation. One individual recounted an experience where Romaniello allegedly used his position of power to manipulate a vulnerable person into a situation where they felt trapped and powerless. According to their account, Romaniello's charm and charisma initially drew them in, but what started as a professional interaction soon shifted to something more inappropriate. This individual claimed that Romaniello used his influence to pressure them into physical situations that they were uncomfortable with, leaving them feeling exploited and betrayed. Another account described a situation where Romaniello allegedly invited a follower to a private event under the guise of a professional meeting. What was supposed to be a networking opportunity turned into something much darker, with the person recounting feelings of discomfort and manipulation as the evening progressed. They felt that Romaniello, once again using his charm, created an environment where they felt obligated to comply, despite their growing discomfort. These initial stories were followed by more allegations, some detailing sexual misconduct, while others pointed to emotional abuse and coercion. It became evident that these accounts were not isolated incidents. Multiple people came forward, each telling their own story of how they had been manipulated by Romaniello, often under the pretense of mentorship or friendship. The consistency of the stories raised serious concerns about a pattern of behavior that had gone unnoticed by many. Several of the individuals who shared their experiences described how Romaniello allegedly used his influence to gain access to vulnerable followers, many of whom were young and eager to learn from a man they trusted. But instead of offering guidance and mentorship, Romaniello allegedly took advantage of that trust in ways that were inappropriate and, in some cases, harmful. It's important to note that these allegations are not just about physical abuse. Many of the individuals who came forward described feeling emotionally manipulated, gaslight, and emotionally drained after their interactions with Romaniello. For some, the experience was not just a betrayal of trust, it was a violation of the emotional connection they had with him as a mentor and leader in the fitness community. What's particularly troubling is the power imbalance that existed between Romaniello and many of his alleged victims. As a fitness guru and mentor, Romaniello held a position of authority, and many of those who followed him looked up to him as a role model. He had access to a vulnerable group of individuals, many of whom were in their early stages of fitness or life transformation. This created an environment where his influence could easily be abused. For those who trusted him, the allegations have left them questioning their own judgment and wondering how they were manipulated into situations they never should have been in. The stories shared paint a picture of someone who, rather than using his platform to uplift and empower, allegedly used it for his own selfish gain. These allegations paint a disturbing picture of a man who exploited his power to manipulate, abuse, and coerce individuals into situations they didn't want to be in. For the many who once saw Romaniello as a mentor, these revelations are nothing short of heartbreaking. But the real question now is, how did this abuse of power go unchecked for so long? As the allegations against John Romaniello began to surface, the public reaction was swift and divisive. For many who had followed him for years, the stories were nothing short of shocking. Fans and former clients, who had once seen him as a mentor and role model, were left grappling with the realization that the man they trusted may have used his position to manipulate and harm others. The question on everyone's mind: how could this have happened, and why didn't anyone speak up sooner? Initially, Romaniello remained silent in the face of the growing allegations. This absence only fueled speculation and anger among those who felt betrayed. People who had once supported him began to question whether they had been part of a larger pattern of exploitation that had been hidden behind his charming public persona. As more voices came forward, the pressure on Romaniello to address the accusations intensified. It wasn't until weeks later that Romaniello broke his silence, posting a response on social media. In his statement, he denied the allegations, insisting that any claims of abuse were fabricated or taken out of context. He acknowledged that some of his relationships with followers and clients had been misunderstood, but asserted that there was no malintent in his actions. Romaniello expressed regret if anyone felt hurt by his behavior, but he firmly rejected the more serious allegations. However, Romaniello's response didn't ease the anger of his critics. For many, his denial came across as dismissive and self-serving, offering no genuine apology or acknowledgement of the pain experienced by those who had come forward. His refusal to take full responsibility only deepened the sense of betrayal felt by many in the fitness community. His followers, who had once seen him as a guide and mentor, were left questioning whether they had been deceived by a man who used their trust for his own gain. Romaniello's response also raised further questions about accountability within the fitness industry. The reality is that fitness influencers like Romaniello wield a tremendous amount of influence over their followers. For some, these figures are not just coaches. They are people whose words shape their lives, their self-worth, and their personal identities. When a mentor with this kind of influence is accused of abuse, it's not just an individual tragedy. It's a reflection of larger systemic issues within the industry itself. As the backlash grew, Romaniello attempted to clear his name by addressing the accusations more directly in a second post, attempting to differentiate between what he claimed were consensual relationships and the abuse his accusers described. But this move backfired for many, as it seemed to downplay the serious nature of the accusations. His repeated emphasis on the idea that these were misunderstandings only served to alienate those who felt Romaniello had used his power to manipulate and take advantage of vulnerable individuals. In the days that followed, several of his former colleagues and clients spoke out in support of the victims, with some claiming that they had witnessed disturbing behavior from Romaniello in the past but had been too afraid to speak up at the time. Others said they had cut ties with him long ago after noticing troubling patterns in his interactions with clients and followers. The media coverage so far has been hush of the allegations of a darker side of the fitness industry, one that it has been reluctant to acknowledge. As public outrage continues to grow, the question became, how much of Romaniello's behavior was an isolated incident, and how much of it was part of a larger problem of unchecked power in the fitness world? The allegations against him had raised a much larger issue: how easily power and influence can be used to exploit vulnerable individuals in an environment where success is often built on trust and personal relationships. For many of Romaniello's former followers and clients, the response from the fitness community itself was just as disappointing as his personal denial. The lack of strong, immediate action from fitness organizations and influencers who had once supported him left many feeling that the culture of the industry needed to change. This wasn't just about one man's alleged misconduct. It was about how the fitness world had allowed figures like Romaniello to thrive unchecked, building a cult of personality and exploiting the very trust they relied on to thrive. As the fallout from the allegations continues to unfold, John Romaniello's career and reputation hang in the balance. The fitness industry has been rocked to its core by the revelations, and for many, the once revered figure now represents a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power and influence. While some of Romaniello's former followers have chosen to defend him, believing his response and explanations, many others feel betrayed, with the damage to his legacy irreparable. The question now is whether Romaniello can ever recover from these allegations. His reputation, built over years of carefully crafted public appearances and motivational content, has been shattered, and it remains to be seen if he can rebuild trust, if he even wants to. Some argue that his response to the allegations, coupled with his denial and lack of accountability, has made any potential redemption unlikely. For many of those who came forward with their accusations, the focus isn't on Romaniello's personal redemption. It's on ensuring that these kinds of behaviors are recognized and addressed within the fitness industry as a whole. The stories of abuse and manipulation highlight a systemic issue that extends far beyond one individual. If Romaniello's case serves as a wake-up call, it's about time the fitness world takes a long, hard look at how mentors, influencers, and coaches use their power, and how easily it can be exploited. The case has also sparked broader conversations about the responsibilities that come with influence, especially in industries where the personal connection between mentor and mentee is a key part of the success formula. Vulnerable followers and clients often seek guidance and support, and when that trust is betrayed, the consequences can be far-reaching. Moving forward, the fitness industry may need to implement stronger ethical guidelines and accountability measures to prevent others from abusing their power in the same way. This includes providing a safe space for individuals to come forward with allegations and ensuring that those who are found guilty of misconduct face consequences, rather than hiding behind their celebrity status. As for Romaniello, it seems unlikely that he will return to his former status as a fitness icon anytime soon. His legacy, once built on the foundation of trust, personal growth, and empowerment, is now marred by allegations of betrayal and exploitation. Whether or not he takes full responsibility for his actions, the damage to his career appears permanent, and the fitness community has already begun to move forward without him. For those who have been affected by Romaniello's alleged actions, the path to healing is just beginning. While some may find solace in seeing the allegations brought to light, others will carry the emotional scars of their experiences for much longer. In the end, it's the victims' voices that deserve to be heard the loudest, and they must be supported in their pursuit of justice and healing. If you found this story insightful, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more true crime content. We cover the stories that matter, stories of betrayal, abuse, and the consequences of power gone unchecked. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to stay updated on our latest videos.